Hello everyone, welcome back here on my YouTube channel where I post weekly videos that help you improve your music production. And before I go any further into this week's video, I want to send a special thank you to all my subscribers and especially to the ones that subscribed within the last couple of weeks. I'm really thankful for your subscription, and remember, by increasing the number of subscribers, I can also improve the quality of the content. If you're new to the channel, please remember, hit that subscription button and also click on the bell so you would be notified when I post any new video content on my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to review the Beyerdynamic DT 990 Pro, the 250 ohms version. So let's see what are, in my opinion, a couple of pros and cons to this headsets. I've actually had this new pair of headsets for about 5 days now, but before I give you my opinion on them, let's see what are a couple of characteristics that you might take into account while purchasing new headsets. Okay, so the whole idea behind the open back format came to the designers when they realized that in the classic format of closed back, the headsets do have a little bit of coloring in some of the frequencies, and this was happening due to the reflections in the enclosure of the drivers. So they took the decision to either cut a grill, like in this particular model, in the back of the headset, or put a whole circle with the grill. That, again, the idea is to let the sound go out of the enclosure of the speaker rather than keep it enclosed and have those reflections bouncing back into your ear. There are a couple of downsides to the open back format. You do have some bleeding out of the drivers. So if you're trying to use open back headsets and monitor to your own voice singing in the microphone that is routed to go inside your ears, that can induce feedback. Or if you're trying to listen to a click track while you're playing the guitar, please remember that the sound is bleeding out, and you might even hear the click track. If it's loud enough, you might even hear the click track recorded. Okay, so the other characteristic of this headset is that it has a high impedance. It has 250 ohms. So what does this mean? Basically, impedance is the resistance of an electrical circuit, and in our case, in headphones, it translates to power needed to move the drivers inside the headphones enclosure. The more impedance we have, the more power we need. This also means that you will need a headphone amplifier or an audio interface to use high impedance headsets like this ones. So anything above 150 ohms, you might consider that you should have an audio interface or a headphone amplifier that will allow for a more realistic sound reproduction to come out of these drivers. If I would plug in these headsets into a phone or into a laptop audio output, I would get almost no sound at all. Those outputs are not meant to power high impedance drivers. So what's the whole idea behind high impedance headphones? Well, it started in the music studios where sound engineers and musicians travel between rooms and between boards, and they bring their headsets with them and they plug into multiple outputs with different gain structure. It started as a protection for the ears because you do not want to plug into an output and immediately have maximum volume blaring in your ears. That will definitely hurt your ears, and it will also introduce ear fatigue. Now let's get back to the Beyerdynamics DT 990. They are really comfortable. You will be able to wear this for long periods of time. They do have this nice padding that will fit your ears really nicely. The price, I think these headphones are fair price because you are getting a good quality studio headphone for an affordable price, and depends also on the budget that you have. Another thing I like about these headsets is that they do not emphasize low end. And I had a lot of headsets in the past couple of years. I had like about 5 of them, and most of them emphasize the low end. I find that these open back DT 990s do not do that. This is one of the main reasons I am gonna stick with these headphones for a while. And while we're here, I also want to mention that I feel in the upper mids or higher frequencies, about 4 to 6K, there is a slightly increased frequency response, and this might sound a little bit brighter, but again, for me this works. It's just a matter of knowing your music and getting to know your headsets. Another thing to talk about is the materials used in the headphones, and this look like a pretty sturdy headphone. The only thing that I would mention here is this cable. This is not replaceable, but most of the other parts are replaceable. You can easily replace this leather head protection. You just take this protection off, purchase a new one when it starts to get sweaty or when it starts to get dirty. Also, another issue that I foresee in this type of design is this little hinge, the horseshoe hinge. This is replaceable, but you need to be careful when you store them or when you put them on or off, because these things tend to break easily. But again, they are replaceable. It's just something for you to bear in mind. These are not loud headphones. These headphones are meant to have an accurate frequency response, so loudness is not going to be one of the main factors of purchasing these headphones. These are meant to have a accurate frequency response, so the loudness is not a thing you would take into consideration if you want to purchase this type of headphones. And also, because of the open back format, these tend to get a little less louder than the other closed back format. Overall, I think this is a really good purchase. As I mentioned, there are a lot of pros for these headsets. I have seen a lot of this being used in music studios, especially the closed back version. Thing to take into consideration about this open back format is that if you are looking for a pair of headset to help you in podcasting or in studio monitoring with live instruments, maybe this is not the best option, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. I do think these headsets are really good for production and for rough mixing, but when it comes to mastering, I would not recommend mastering on any pair of headsets, because the thing is, with headsets you do get a right and a left channel, and the separation is perfect. When you are using studio monitors, you get more precise layering of the instruments, and you also get a more detailed reproduction of the stereo field. In the headsets, even if you try to master and mix in mono, you will still get one perfect left channel and one perfect right channel. And that was it for this week's video, guys. Thank you very much for joining me here. If you like the content, please remember to subscribe. It does help me a lot whenever I get new subscribers. It also motivates me to post new content. If you have any ideas about topics that we might discuss in this channel, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you have any questions or any comments, again, leave them in the comments section below. And until next week, stay safe, healthy, and be kind to one another. I'll see you all next week. Thank you.